I have more disheartening news. The last month or so into this communist regime, they are passing all kinds of money around. I've got Mark Levine on here to lay it out. It's a very important one. We're in for a long haul just to fix all the shit that they have done. And then we got who I thought was a Nazi, and apparently I was right, trying to put his agenda online. It ain't gonna happen. We got a lot of work to do, people.
Here's AP, the last actions the Biden administration will take before Trump takes over the White House. And they list some of them: getting infrastructure spending out of the door. They want to get hundreds of billions, up to $1 trillion out, because it's just sitting there. So when the president, Donald Trump, comes in and he wants to cut spending, Biden's going to make it much harder for him. And so that's what they're doing. They want to speed up environmental goals. In other words, the iron fist of the federal government to destroy capitalism, your automobile, and all the rest. They're going to push out as many grants, as many regulations as humanly possible before they leave. Billions of dollars worth of regulations. The Energy Department, 28 deals totaling $37 billion granted under a clean energy loan program. Wow, that's another $37 billion out the door. Let's see, $1 trillion, $37 billion. Ukraine aid, they can't push that out the door fast enough. And Ukraine loans and so forth and so on. Now, you and I may disagree on Ukraine, but we don't disagree that Joe Biden shouldn't be doing what he's doing now to undermine what Donald Trump wants to do with Ukraine and Russia. It's absolutely outrageous. Pressure to quickly confirm judicial picks. They're picking not just liberals, the most radical, extremist, absolute America-hating kooks to go into the judiciary for the purpose of doing what? Thwarting the will of the people, thwarting the will of the elected branches of government, so they could impose the will, whether it's wokeism, whether it's open borders, whether it's citizenship for illegal aliens. That way, when they bring their lawsuits to challenge the Trump administration, they win. And they're trying to load it up on the way out the door. Isn't that nice? Department of Education, they're trying to finalize new rules that would cancel student loans. The court has already said it's unconstitutional. That's never bothered Joe Biden before, because Trump's against democracy and Joe Biden's for it. The Hill, Democrats press Biden to protect executive branch from Trump's return. The lawmakers want President Biden to get aggressive and creative with unilateral actions. A mobster dictator. We want democracy. We want democracy. No, they don't. These people are autocrats through and through. With unilateral actions in the final weeks of his administration, the idea is to protect the Democrat Party's victories and to fortify the Justice Department, the intelligence agencies, and other offices in Trump's crosshairs. There's a lot that the Biden administration can do, and I know they've done some scenario planning, said Representative Jared Huffman of California. It would be a huge political malpractice for them not to anticipate this scenario and have some plans in place. They love their little dictatorship, don't they? Biden administration rulemaking blitzes aims to Trump-proof the federal government. Washington Examiner, having withdrawn from his re-election bid and acknowledged the possibility that former President Trump may succeed him, Biden has worked with Democrats and his federal agencies to lock in a legacy that won't be easy for Trump to erase. And it goes on. I've said the bureaucracy belongs to the Democrats, and they will fight to the death to protect it, to grow it, to give it monies that it doesn't even need, because that's how they rule over us, the unelected branches. The massive leviathan that is the bureaucracy and the federal judiciary with lifetime appointments. When they win elections, they have a mandate. When we win elections, they still claim a mandate. Isn't it funny? No, it's disgusting. Biden administration quietly renewed controversial $10 billion Iran sanctions waiver 2 days after the election day. So here they are taking credit for weakening Iran when they keep funding it. You know what this is? None dare call it treason, but why? This is treason. To keep funding the enemy like this, that's on its last legs, when Donald Trump is about to come into office, when the Israelis are trying to take them out in their nuclear sites, and they lift sanctions, or they won't enforce them. And there's another $10 billion to the regime in Tehran, which, by the way, slaughters its own people, particularly hates gay people, particularly hates women. It's just unbelievable. So they slip another $10 billion to them before they go out the door. Sabotage. Biden administration says it's surging deliveries to Ukraine as Trump criticizes its decision to allow U.S. weapons to strike inside Russia. Trump has a plan. He was elected president of the United States, commander-in-chief, to try and find a way to bring a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. He's already working on it, and these guys are undermining him. They're undermining him, but they don't care. Here's another one, Washington Times. Democrats beg Biden to expand amnesty for illegal immigrants before Trump takes office. We have a level of temporary and permanent amnesty that's going on in this country right now like we've never seen in American history. They are processing these people. They are pushing them through as fast as they can. They're changing the rules. They're changing the deadlines. They urge Mr. Biden, flex unilateral powers such as the temporary protected status and deferred enforced departure, both of which grant up to 18 months of amnesty from deportation for illegal immigrants. So don't just push them out. Keep them here. Ooh, and they disappear. Oh, well, them and 325,000 undocumented children, that is, children that are unaccompanied. Oh, and a couple 100,000 women, they're missing, sold into sex slavery. A little bit of despotism is okay when the goal is the monopoly, centralized power of the Democrat Party. You know, those tools are supposed to be used in cases where someone's home country is suffering unrest of a disaster that makes it unsafe to return, but they're using it in all cases. They're following the law that they make up. Here's another one. They held Biden administration races to cement climate gains. What are they doing? The Biden administration is sprinting to finalize the unfinished pieces of its climate policy, from fully dispersing Inflation Reduction Act funds to getting final regulations out the door. We're talking about $1 trillion going to these radical front groups, going to these legal groups, just pushing it out as fast as they can. They're raining money on the left. Oh, look at this one. New York Post. Biden administration quietly clears away border wall parts for auction ahead of Trump's second term. Biden administration is reportedly spending their final weeks quietly clearing away unused southern border wall materials to put up for auction, a move characterized by some lawmakers as an apparent ploy to sabotage Donald Trump's goal to secure the U.S.-Mexican border. Alarming footage taken by a U.S. Customs and Border agent captured numerous flatbed trucks hauling away dismantled sections of the steel wall near Tucson, Arizona, a hot spot for illegal crossings, with the agents estimating a half mile's worth of parts are being removed daily. They're selling them pennies on the dollar, your tax dollars. So when Trump wants to rebuild these areas and build the wall in the rest of these areas, now you and me, the taxpayers, we're going to have to pay the full load. These are impeachable offenses. Some of this stuff involving foreign policy are treasonous offenses. It's all so thoroughly corrupt. Biden pushes out over $100 billion in clean energy grants as term winds down. This is Reuters. Biden's administration has awarded over $100 billion in grants created by its signature climate law. The administration hopes the spending milestone will help to continue the deployment of clean energy. Oh, yeah, they've done a hell of a job, haven't they? Doesn't the air feel cleaner and the water cleaner thanks to Joe Biden? No. I feel every time I watch this guy that I need to take a shower. I'm using up more water during the Biden administration than ever before because I always feel dirty from these people. Isn't it amazing? All this money that they have. Look at this one, EPA. Biden-Harris administration, and this is the EPA bragging about it, announces over $735 million in selections for clean, heavy-duty vehicles as part of investing in the American agenda. Wow, when did they do this? 3 days ago. And it goes on and on and on as they talk about spending nearly $1 billion. Look at this, the USDA. Biden-Harris administration announces nearly $335 million in grants to support private forest land management and conservation as part of Biden's Investing in America agenda. $335 million. When did they announce this? Oh, 3 days ago. This is just, they're pushing the money out, pushing it out as fast as they can for every conceivable program. Now, while all this is going on, I'm going to make a guarantee. I guarantee you they're destroying documents, they're destroying email, they're destroying text, they're covering their tracks. Many administrations do. You see, Donald Trump and his administration really is the only administration with the National Archives going to the United States Department of Justice at the behest of the White House counsel's office, that would be the Biden regime, criminally investigated a former president and an administration for violations of the so-called Presidential Records Act and then the Espionage Act. Oh, yeah, remember the Espionage Act? I do. Look at this, 31 charges against Trump under the Espionage Act. You know what this is now? Precedent, Joe. Well, retribution, excuse me. Equal justice under the law. You leftists might want to call it equity. This is precedent.
In my opinion, Mark is probably the best and the biggest patriot of them all, showing us exactly what's going on. As far as these drones, I think we're looking at some kind of a false flag coming up. I don't know. Anything to keep them idiots in power, I guess. But at the end, I always try to lighten it up with some humor. Animal videos make me glad, happy. We got a lot of work to do, people. This whole administration coming in, at least Mark gave us some hope that they can unwind some of this, but it's going to take time. Unbelievable. I'm hoping a lot of these people get prosecuted also.
I'm so ready for a real man to be in the White House. So they can't shoot down unregistered drones, but they can kill a man's squirrel and kill a raccoon in his own home without due process. Man, when I tell you, I'm so ready for a real man to be in the White House.
Johnson & Johnson is adding cancer-causing carcinogens to their sunscreens? That doesn't make any sense. Or does it? Let's take a look. Directly from the J&J website, they are doing a voluntary recall of Neutrogena and Aveeno sunscreen products due to the presence of benzene. According to the CDC, it is a chemical that is colorless, odorless, and highly flammable. What is it used to make? Lubricants, rubbers, dyes, detergents, drugs, and pesticides. And according to the American Cancer Society, benzene is known to cause cancer, specifically leukemia and other cancers of blood. So, Johnny boy, why are you adding it to our sunscreens? Well, if you look at their revenues, they have $81.6 billion in revenue, and only $14 billion of that is from consumer-facing products like Neutrogena and Aveeno. But the rest of all of this is from their pharmaceuticals and medical devices. And apparently, their growth is primarily led by its pharmaceutical business, specifically their sales of Imbruvica and Darzalex. But what does Imbruvica do? You guessed it. Treats leukemia. That's weird. That's suspicious.
I'm getting pissed off. It's been 72 hours since Trump been elected, and we are not getting what we voted for. We're not. And I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed because I could have sworn that these celebrities and these women on The View and all these places said that if we voted Trump in, that they was going to leave the country. And now I saw that the View, they showing up in black dresses just to mourn the president election, Trump being elected. That is not what y'all promised us. Y'all said that if we voted for Trump, that they will leave the country, and y'all ain't boarded a plane yet. And I'm getting frustrated. Trump, you gotta do something about this, because I thought our vote was gonna count. We did vote for that. That's what they not understanding. We voted for y'all to leave the country. And I thought that I would be seeing airlines being, filled up. Tickets would be hard to get because all the celebrities, all of Hollywood, all of these politicians, these journalists that said that if you get elected, that they was gonna board the plane and leave. I can't no more. Our vote ain't counting already, y'all. I guess maybe I'll give them another week, but time is ticking. Get on the plane. All right.
In 5 years, scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer. That exposes more ocean to sunlight. Ocean is dark. It consumes more of the heat from the sunlight, which then accelerates the rate of the melting and warming rather than the ice sheet and the snow that used to reflect it back up into the atmosphere.